Gigi here. We're on day 50 of 72 days of leadership wizardry. And yes, this is really day 50. Today, we're looking at the archetype of the sovereign of the East, which is about looking up. And looking up is about really embodying the element of air, right? Which uplifts. So in this case, what we're doing is we're combining this idea of authority, self-authority, sovereignty, with service. How does this serve? And with how does this serve the highest good? Hence a little bit of that looking up. Highest good really can be easily defined as how does it affect everybody? I mean, in a sense, we're all connected, and whatever I do affects everyone else and vice versa. So this is best perhaps illustrated by a story. So in the midst of the pandemic, I was part of a group that had met in person until that wasn't possible anymore. And however, we were coming up on graduation, and it was decided that we were going to get together in person for graduation. And I kind of raised my hand and said, gosh, is this like a done deal? Can we talk about it? Is there any wiggle room? And the group was like, whoa, you need to trust our leaders and their authority, and only they can make this decision, and respect them. And I didn't realize I had set off such a nerve. Of course, it set off a nerve in me. And I wrote back and I said, well, thank you. I didn't realize this was the question in play, but I'm going to meditate on it. When I did, I realized, yes, it was a question of trust and respect and authority, but it was my question. How do I respect myself, my self-authority, and how do I trust myself? I just kind of wanted the information about why that was chosen and, what were the protocols and protection. So you can kind of see how, again, we're all connected. And suppose I had gone anyway without getting the answers to my question, how would that have served? I probably would have shown up resentful and, maybe even like not looking somebody else in the eye that might have questioned me. And, that tension would have rippled through the group. It absolutely would have, like, dropping a pebble and as it like ripples out. So that is a illustration of what's the highest good. The question, how it becomes, how does this really serve myself and others? And, I love that combination of sovereign and service. All right, tomorrow, more sovereign.